This is Castleton. It's a small village tucked into the Peak District, and it's a prime example of a quaint and beautiful English village. Even now, in the cold depths of the winter, every year millions of people flock towards the Peak District and towards Castleton for its stunning views, its bed and breakfasts, and of course, the castle that looms over the village. But I'm not here for the castle or the bed and breakfasts. I'm here today for a rather large secret that this village holds. So large that no other place in the United Kingdom can boast having this. The biggest hole in the UK! Yeah, okay, it may sound strange to say, but what I'm standing in front of now is not only my favourite cave, but it's actually also the biggest hole entrance for a cave in the UK. And yeah, I think that makes it really special, really. And today we are going to venture in. So come and join me today, Elise Freshwater-Blizzard, with Jolene, as we venture deep down under. Welcome back to Deep Down Under. So you might be wondering what the heck just happened there? Well, as soon as the tour stops at Teak Cavern, the slide starts. Now, this slide was put in place for a production from the BBC for kind of a spin-off series for the Chronicle of Narnia. And they decided to leave it in, which I think is just great. Because whenever cavers start this caving trip in Peak Cavern, they always start with a nice slide, and it's just great fun. And this is the start of what I'm going to take you round. Now, this is going to be called the Peak Round Trip. Something really simple that cavers like to do as a beginning trip. So let's just start it.
Okay, so hello from the future Elise. I've come to make this video a bit more easier to understand with what's going on. So I'm drawing out a cave map here, and I want to be sure that I am very bad at drawing maps, but I wanted to give it a go. So it's not precise, but it gives a good idea of what we are doing.
So now we've come to a bit of the cave that I really want to share with you all. And the reason being is that it's the start of something really big, but at this particular point, there's something quite scary going on. So, as you can see with the ceiling above me, the ceiling's actually being supported by wood and metal, which may sound to the normal person, that's fine. Most ceilings are supported by wood or metal beams, and that's fine. But in caves, it's slightly different, because all of the earth above me at this very second is being supported by what you can see. So yeah, we don't overthink things in caving. Sometimes if you overthink things, it can be too scary, psychologically speaking. But another thing that really excites me about this particular space is that it's the start of what we call the muddy ducks. And the muddy ducks are infamous in this cave. And if you want to enter this cave, you've got to do the muddy ducks. They are incredible. And the reason being is because the water's going to come all the way up to my neck, and it's going to go inside of my clothing, and it's going to go to places where I don't want them to be. I'm sorry, but I had to mention it. And not only this, but the water is extremely cold, and it's going to make me feel uncomfortable. When you go on your first caving trip, there's always that decisive moment of, yes, I like caving, no, it's horrendous. And I had the mixture of both. It was horrendous and exciting. So you're going to watch me do it right now.
Wow, this is hard. do that without getting my chest even remotely wet.
Welcome. So right now we've come to the Muddy Ducks, which is where we're going to find lots of pathways, and the cave starts to split off in so many directions. But instead we are going to go off into this direction and carry on through. After getting out of the cold depths of the water, I found something that I really wanted to show you guys.
So we've come to a bit that I want to show you. The first thing you'll notice is that I've taken my helmet off. And if you're a caver, I'm sorry, okay, right? Okay, I do it for a reason. So the reason I've taken my helmet off is that I'm a little scared that I'm going to bump some of these stalactites that I've got here. And I found these and I think they're beautiful. I've been looking at them for a few minutes now, albeit with my helmet off, but I'm just so scared that as my helmet has a little bit more height, that I'm going to stand up and accidentally break one of the stalactites. And this has happened in the past, and it happens, I would say, quite frequently in caving, whether cavers want to admit it or not. One thing that cavers always make sure to do is to not break things, not take things and leave caves as they found them as much as possible. And that's the reason why just in these 5 minutes that I'm looking at these stalactites, I'm taking my helmet off.
Stalactites form from water dripping through the ceiling. They grow less than 10 centimetres every 1,000 years, so you can see why a caver might feel very embarrassed to accidentally break one.
They're so beautiful. Look, they're just so, they're slowly dripping on my head, and it's just such a calming feeling. And it's something that I'm never going to get outside, in the outside world, and I'm only ever going to get it here in this really calm and serene environment. And I'm really happy to share it with you guys. On we go.
Oh, we need to be above this. It's just a bit of wood. It's just there, blocking the way.
What we're doing here is called a crab walk. The water flowing through the cave has forced a small and narrow pathway to form over the years, just big enough for us to walk sideways through, hence the name crab walk. In many parts we actually have to simply push ourselves through, but for most cavers this is actually considered a very wide crab walk, and it's considered that for us too. At this point in time we have come to these crab walks which are going down in this direction. Again, this cave goes on for ages in so many different directions. That's what all these little spikes are coming out for. Some of them haven't even put on the map.
Okay, that was a bit loud, I'm very sorry.
Turn your torch off!
What? Welcome to Surprise View, my favourite part of the cave. And it's my favourite part because the water looks clean, it's always flowing, it's so beautiful from down here. And I don't know, you can see a cave, this is what a cave is meant to look like. It's just so encouraging to see all this beautiful water flowing through really fast. But I'm going to get Jolene to come down now because I need her with me. She's my wing woman. So Jolene, do you want to come on down?
this bit here is surprise view, and a surprise view sets us up for this little bit that comes round in a circular motion, where I climbed up and then came back down to that little drop, back down to surprise view.
Right. Now every rock in a cave has a different story, and even the most boring floor can tell us so many different things. Now these are called scallops. Now scallops are formed from water that flows across the floor. May I say it's very cold. Now scallops are really important because they can tell us what direction and how fast the water has been flowing over millions of years. And I'm going to tell you right now how this is done. So water flows into the scallop. It flows into the deepest part of the scallop, called the hollow, and it creates turbulence inside this hollow, right? And as the water moves round and round, the limestone starts to wither away over time in a process we call abrasion. So slowly the scallop starts to form over the years, and if the water is flowing really quickly, small scallops just like these ones are going to form. But if the water is flowing slowly, then larger scallops will form. It's so interesting. And of course, how can we tell the way the water was running? Well, the shallowest part of the scallop always points to the direction of flow. And this is how we work it out. Now I'm going to get out of this water now, because it's dripping all the way down my front. And honestly, it's the coldest thing I've experienced. Thinking at home, what if the cave caves in, like right now? And the short answer is no, it's not going to, not today, not really. Sorry to have to bust that on you. It's not as exciting as that. Well, houses tend to crumble over hundreds of years. Caves crumble after millions of years. In fact, this cave, this room I'm standing in, has been here for millions of years already, and it still looks pretty great. I personally feel safer to stand like this underground than to stand like this overground, for many reasons that we can get into later. But there are some activities that are very dangerous and can make you feel really uncomfortable as a caver. And one of those activities is climbing. So right now, I'm going to put my glove on, and I'm going to climb up and show you how it's done. Well, I hope so. So after that climb that we just did, we go through a little bit of a squeeze and another crab walk, as you can see. And this actually almost marks the end of our trip. I'm very sorry to cut it so short, but now we're almost getting our way all the way back to Surprise View. Do you remember that, with the big crevice of water and me shouting quite a bit? We're almost back round to that now. Yeah.
I'm very wedged right now.
So after this, we're literally just going to go back on ourselves. We didn't go round the circuit, as it were, even though I've drawn it in. I'm not sure why I drew it in. But we just went back on ourselves rather than go the other way round. And then right before we go up back to the slide, there's a place that we're going to wash all the mud off just before we get back to that junction.
So as we come to the end of the trip, we come to surprise view again. But before that, we just need to do a little bit of a drop down. Like this. So, we've made it to the end, and first of all, thank you so much for watching Jolene and me go through this cave. As you can see, we've made it all the way back round to the final part, which is where the ladder was. Now, what we're doing for the rest of this cave is we're just going to go back out the way we came. And so we've come to the end of our cave. Thank you so much for watching. Join us next time on Deep Down Under. Please like and subscribe this video because we worked so hard to get this all done. Thank you so much for watching. Love you, Mum and Dad, and I'll see you next time.